I'll be honest. I know that LeBron and Anthony Davis both said that they would be willing to play the 4 and 5 more, but
We've heard this before.
we're gonna get in this. Anthony Davis does not like playing the 5, man.
Yeah.
Like, he does not like playing the 5. I mean, obviously you bring in Dwight, you can do that, but I just don't see that as a long-term solution for this to work. Russell Westbrook is going to be the one that's going to need to change more than anything in this. And like you said, Ben, LeBron's going to have to be the guy who's catching and shooting now. So in this day and age, players taking a pay cut, especially like DeMar DeRozan's not a bad basketball player right now. I don't know. I don't necessarily see it at this point.
I think that there are some positives and some negatives to all of that, but here's the thing with that. I know Giannis, we just watched him win a finals and he had to play the 5, and he was a matchup nightmare for a lot of different people in those schemes. When he played the 5, like, that kind of changed the momentum of the series. When you're able to go him, PJ Tucker, then you had those guys guarding, Drew Holiday and middle. Like, when he went to the 5, it gave them issues because that was a huge mismatch for Ayton. Ayton is a great player, but he's just not Giannis. So it gave them fits. So I don't know if Anthony Davis, I know he hates playing the 5, but man, like, if he's able to do it and he's able to be effective, he's a matchup nightmare for 95% of the 5s in the league. You know what I mean? So, like, maybe that's something, the sacrifice that he said he'll make. And if they do, I think that's where they can have more success.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that point. I think that, for this work, that's probably going to have to be the case. He's probably got to play his majority minutes at the 5. I think that's just kind of like, if you want this to work, that's how it's got to be. My worry is the same worry we've had with Russell Westbrook for, like, his whole career is, like, is this going to finally be the stage where he learns to, like, play and go to the rim, be more of a cutter off the ball? And, he played a lot off the ball in Houston with Harden. He didn't really have to do it too much last year in Washington with Beal. So that certainly kind of is something that's going to jump out to me is, like, with LeBron's facilitating the offense, what is Westbrook doing? Is he standing in the corner, like, out of the play and just not moving? Or is this something where he's going to, like, kind of learn to use his backdoor cuts and kind of, attack the rim a little more off the ball? Because that's the thing we've all been wanting Westbrook to do forever. We know he's an insane athlete. The Lakers might now have 2 of the 5 greatest athletes in the NBA on their team. But that's no disrespect to Anthony Davis by any means. But I think now it's kind of like, for Westbrook, it's, how much is your game going to evolve? Because we know that volume-wise, you're an unbelievably bad three-point shooter. And we know that defense is not his specialty anymore. But with that being said, I think if you look at that stretch after Beal got hurt this year, you saw that he is still a very dynamic basketball player, and he's very flawed, but still unbelievably good and ridiculously athletic, and still has the tendency to take over a game. So, if they have those nights where it's probably going to be a little better now when LeBron's off the court, like, they're going to have someone else that can run the offense, and that kind of makes things interesting as well.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, you still have THT, you still have Caruso, both shoot the ball.
Hopefully you still have Caruso.
So, I mean, you've got guys there, but I think that they're probably going to look to bring in one more possible shooter. I don't know who, and I don't know how much you're going to be able to spend because, I mean, they're about as cash strapped as you can be, but there's still guys on their roster. What's that, Tim?
Malik Monk's a free agent. Go to LA, baby.
Yep. So, I mean, there's still guys out there. There's still guys that are on their roster that shoot the ball well. So, those 3 are dynamic players. If you can put the pieces around them, a motivated LeBron, a motivated Westbrook, and Anthony Davis is going to be motivated because he went down with the injury, and people were calling him, street clothes Davis and all this stuff. Like, he
didn't have his best year.
Yeah. So he's going to be motivated. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic works and who they bring in. I mean, who truly is willing to accept the league minimum If they're going to come and play with the Lakers, who's truly going to take all that money out of their pocket and say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this to sacrifice to try to win a championship.
It's not like it was when it was down in Miami, a decade ago, where there were players that were willing to take that, and they kind of knew that they would, but I think we're past that era.
I think that this could be great because betting odds now do have the Lakers as the favorites to win the title, which, for a roster that has 5 people on it, I don't know how that's possible. One of those 5 is Alfonso McKinney.
Yeah.
Actually 6. Yeah, they have 6 guys on the roster now.
All right.
So it could be awesome. I very well suspected, by mid-season they're gonna hit a run. It very well could be 2004 Los Angeles Lakers all over again. We're like, oh, Brian Russell's joining the team to come off the bench, and you're like, oh no, no,
Yep.
oh. When you read Perlman's book about that season of the 04 Lakers, it's just so funny how dysfunctional that all really was. And so I'm like, I really hope it's not that again. I don't think it will. I think Dwight really likes LA. If you remember though, in the bubble, Dwight and Russ, they were kind of going at it in that Rockets Lakers series. So that could make it fun. The other thing too is about these mid-level guys, these guys like that is, how many attractive offers are they going to have too besides the Lakers? I think Brooklyn certainly is going to be in the market to get guys. I think Brooklyn did a really good job with their 2 first-round picks, getting Thomas, who I talked about last week on the show from LSU, as a good fit for the Lakers, funny enough, and then getting Day'Ron Sharpe from North Carolina. So that's a good start to their bench. But they're going to have to offer Blake Griffin probably more money than they want to. And I think JJ Redick makes a ton of sense for Brooklyn. Obviously, he mentioned wanting to play on the East Coast. So I don't know if he's going to want to be a Laker fit, just because he was trying to get closer to his family, and I believe they actually live in Brooklyn. So that's maybe the Lakers aren't going to be the fit for JJ Redick, though they'd be a spectacular fit. This Duncan Robinson market, it sounds more and more like he's going to be in a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry. It's the only
I saw that.
fit.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason they picked up Goran's option. So I don't know, man. This mid-level thing's gonna be fun. But I hate to say it, wouldn't it have made sense for the Lakers to make a move at Lonzo Ball here instead of Russell Westbrook? Wouldn't he have been perfect with AD and LeBron?
Yeah, he would have fit, I think, a little bit better. At least he's a guy that can be off the ball and hit jump shots when he's on. You know what I mean? So I don't know how many. If LeBron is ball dominant, he's the guy distributing the basketball. I don't know. I don't know how well like you said before, what's Westbrook going to do off the ball? So Lonzo has been shown to be a little bit more better slasher, passer, cutter, shooter.
Good shooter now too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so yeah. I would have liked Lonzo Ball, but
that's okay.
like Sean said earlier, though, I think it was just more name chasing than it was.
It certainly was.
It's a sexy name.
So.
Hey, like I said, I feel like it really raises their ceiling, but also could make things really brutal. Because I feel like that's a tough team to do. Those 3 alone, if you get guys to buy in to kind of join and be part of the program, that could be a pretty tough team to have to beat 4 times.
Oh yeah,
especially
absolutely.
If they stay healthy. I have no issues with Russell wanting to go there. I think that it definitely could be spectacular. He was really good last year in stretches. I know his 3-point shooting was still pretty brutal. I'm more worried about his free throw shooting than I am his 3-point shooting, because he's going to draw fouls a lot. Teams are going to teams are going to be so not to the point where they don't want to put Davis on the line. LeBron's obviously not a world-class free throw shooter either. But if they get another shooter like Carmelo and the guys like that, Westbrook's going to be the guy they're going to target to put on the foul line to get extra possessions. So how does that help the Lakers? I don't know. It's going to be really exciting. I think they're definitely going to be. The Lakers are already must-see TV. This makes it even more must-see TV.